If you're looking for a new roguelite that goes a little deeper, then I got something for you. Hey people, Voice talking to you, and today we're checking out Abyssus, a new co-op action FPS roguelike set deep beneath the ocean. If you want to try this game out for yourself or see my full playthrough stream, there are links to both down in the description. We are a member of a deep-sea expeditionary force using submarines to explore the ocean's trenches. However, our adventure is cut short when a powerful current pulls our vessel into an underwater cave and peels it open like a tin can. Still in our diving gear, we are spit out at the entrance to a massive air pocket with no way to go but deeper in. Up ahead, we find a base camp seemingly set up by past expeditions hanging over a gaping black abyss. Complete with a shooting range, equipment storage, and a diving bell set to carry us into the abyss, this camp will serve as our hub and home base between each dive into the darkness. I'm not sure if we were explicitly here to find these ruins, but it seems the previous visitors to this place were sent by the same company as us, and they did extensive research on the strange phenomena down here. We, like all of our predecessors, can no longer die, and we are called down into the abyss by a mysterious being called the Surge. This being never directly speaks to us, but it offers us power during our runs, meaning that most likely it resides at the bottom of the abyss and wants us to reach it. My guess is that it's some sort of eldritch monster using us to try and free it, and the hordes of ancient golems protecting the ruins are just here to keep it from getting out. But if we ever want to leave this place, or at least find out the truth behind the abyss, then down we go anyway. As I said though, this place is chock full of angry pottery seeking revenge for a certain swordsman, and we'll have to battle our way through them to progress. Fortunately for us, we have access to an arsenal of crazy engine-powered weapons, or at least we will once they all get added to the game. Also, you have to locate or unlock each weapon to use them, but that part I don't mind at all. For now, there were 3 weapons I got to try out. The first was a wicked motor-powered Gatling rifle. Next is a powerful shotgun fueled by a locomotive boiler. And last was a scoped revolver capable of picking off enemies from long range. Each of these weapons has a primary and a secondary firing mode with different properties. The Gatling rifle, for example, uses a magazine to feed its accurate primary fire, while secondary shoots much faster but builds up heat. Swapping between these two modes is its specialty, and encourages constant spray and pray combat. The shotgun, on the other hand, fires a tighter spread from its primary, while secondary shoots a wildly inaccurate but deadly spray that knocks the wielder backwards, which is ideal for keeping some distance at close quarters. The cool part is that both the primary and the secondary fire of each weapon can be swapped out with one of 3 modified versions, changing up your loadout and shifting that weapon's role to better suit your playstyle. For example, the shotgun can instead be equipped with high damage slugs, or attached with a mod that fires all of its remaining shells in a deadly barrage. That's already quite a few options for us to work with, but we can also swap out our equipped grenade with a number of other gadgets, like a deployable turret or an anchor that acts as a powerful melee attack. Did I mention we have a melee attack as well? In true Bioshock fashion, we can smack enemies with our pipe wrench, dealing heavy damage and stunning them, though I really wish the impact sound for it was more satisfying. There's also a few customization options for our diving suit, including different helmets, patterns, and colors. We unlock these options, weapon mods, and entirely new weapons by completing challenges and finding secrets hidden in different areas and even in the lobby itself. There's lots to find, and the scenery looks fantastic, so exploration is definitely worthwhile. On to the runs themselves then. Before we start, we can spend any soul fragments we found or earned on previous runs to permanently level up our character, increasing our damage, healing capacity, and unlocking new features like the Forge and Healing Shrine on future runs. We can also spend brine canisters at the diving bell to add modifiers to our run, but I didn't see any of these, so I assume this isn't implemented yet. It seems like runs aren't terribly randomized, but that could change in the finished version. Each area we enter has 5 depths that are made up of interconnected rooms, with a mini-boss halfway through and a main boss at the end. Each chamber will have an encounter we'll need to clear to progress, but it isn't always combat. Some rooms will have special objectives like charging or destroying monoliths before enemies will stop spawning, and the enemies themselves are nothing to sneeze at either. The variety was pretty decent for a demo, and the mix of ranged and melee fighters will keep you moving and on your toes at all times. Sure, they're your typical garden variety golems, but then you see a walking jar that spits out kamikaze sharks, and a saw blade Roomba takes off your legs. I hate these freaking blade Roombas. Stay away from me. You are too close. Each enemy has a weak point somewhere on their body, always in the form of a glowing red crystal. Personally, I like the design of these enemies, but I wish they were a bit more unique. Not necessarily from other games, but from each other, I guess. I'm kind of tired of fighting golems in every roguelike. It makes sense for them all to be made from the same materials, and likely other depths will have different varieties, but I want to see what the art department can really do. After seeing the crazy weapon designs, I just know they could cook up some wild monsters to fight. That aside, combat is frantic, engaging, and very well balanced. The mobility feels good, the weapons are super interesting, and there's even some wicked eldritch powers we can unlock during each run. So if the weapon customization wasn't enough, we can also gain boons called blessings every so often during a run. Blessings are applied to either your primary fire, secondary fire, or gadget. Each blessing has its own elemental affinity and offers both passive and active effects to go along with it. So putting fire on your grenade could make it ignite enemies and passively increase the duration of status effects. Applying wind to your primary could give every bullet the chance to deal area of effect damage and increase the size of all AoEs. Synergizing randomized blessings with your specific loadout and other blessings is challenging, but also really fun. The fact that each run gives you the chance for such a wildly different experience, even with the exact same loadout, is an incredibly good move on the part of the devs. There were tons of different ways to play in the demo, and that was without most of the weapons unlocked. There are some pretty neat blessings too. They aren't all just generic elements. The blessing of barriers, for example, fills up a meter that can offer you a protective shield against damage. The blessing of spirits, on the other hand, generates energy that spawns seeking ghosts to take down enemies. Depending on what you attach these blessings to, their impact can change dramatically too, so be selective about how you flesh out your build. And since you can play this co-op with your friends, there could be 4 entirely different builds on the battlefield at the same time. You could even divide up your squad with different roles, with one player taking shields and close-range weapons to play as a tank, while another uses turrets and summoning magic to act as a damage dealer. The possibilities here are really quite impressive. That said, looping roguelites like this live and die on their variety, and I found myself fighting the exact same enemies over and over in the same 10 to 12 rooms. Obviously, we're assuming that's going to change in the finished version, but I'll say it anyways. More enemy types, more environmental variety, new rooms, new blessings, new secrets, and preferably more environmental storytelling too. I'm actually really interested in the world building of this game, but as with so many other roguelites, I'm worried that we won't get to see the full potential of the narrative. This is a fascinating underwater kingdom that could have storied histories with some awesome cosmic horror elements. I'd love to hear the voice of the surge in our head here and there, urging us to keep trying when we die and guiding us deeper when we succeed. So far, the only lore I found was in the form of admittedly poorly worded notes written in an overbearing accent. It's not an especially memorable way to tell a story, and it's one way too many games rely on. Putting that aside, I really like the concept and the execution of this title so far. As long as the devs are willing to keep expanding and try new routes like sea monster enemies and spooky eldritch landscapes to fight in, then I think the systems they've set up here could be shaped into a super addictive and really unique roguelite. But I'm also just the voice in your head, so what do you think about Abyssus? Are you interested in the lore of these eldritch ruins, or are you just here for a cool new roguelite? How do you feel about the weapon customization system? What changes would you like to see in the finished game? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. If you enjoyed this video, leaving a like or a comment helps me out a ton. It means I get to keep my legs. Murder Roomba! If you want more, subscribing is the best way to support the channel and keep new content coming your way because I put out new stuff every week. Thanks so much for listening to me today. You'll be hearing from me again real soon. Fish deity, an ancient fish filled with anger.